What's going on, everybody? Welcome into a depressive version of the Final Whistle Sports Podcast. You know who we are. It's your hosts, Joe Ciccoletti and Blaine Spencer. Joe, it's been a rough weekend in the sports world for the two of us with your Sixers, my Warriors. Are you okay? That's my first question. Are you okay?
So I scheduled my therapy appointment for today, as well as I called the therapist and I said, "Hey, buddy, you got any availabilities today?" He goes, "I'm going to tell you the truth." He goes, "I don't know why." He goes, "But my schedule just got recently packed up in the last hour." And that was about at 6, 7 o'clock last night. I said, "Well, it's not because of, people missing Mother's Day or, losing a family member in that case. It's because of the Philadelphia 76ers losing in the fashion they did in Boston. And that's the reason why your schedule's getting packed up. And that's the reason why I'm going to be there as well. So by the time I get there, you will for sure know the entire story of the game." And he goes, "Okay, makes sense." He goes, "But I'm making money." I said, "Yeah, you're right." So yeah, that's where we're here, Blaine. We are here. Therapy appointment scheduled, and you know, that's all I could say. We're here. I didn't jump off the bridge last night. I guess that's a good thing. So
That's a very good thing.
yeah,
But you might as well let's get the vent session away first for you. Mine will go later. But since it's the most recent game that took place, the
mm.
Boston Celtics eliminated the Philadelphia 76ers on Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening, whatever time it is for you guys. For you, it was the evening. For me, it's midday.
Mm-hmm.
112 to 88. Game was not really competitive after the first half. You guys got off to a flying start, up
Yeah.
six after one.
Yep.
Probably should have been more. I think there was some writing on the wall there that you guys kind of. I thought you guys were gonna really turn the tables in that first quarter, especially when PJ Tucker has 11 points in the first quarter alone.
He slept in that corner the night before.
He
I'm
slept there. He
convinced.
did. Probably did. And he ripped his jersey. I'm gonna try that from now on. Rip my uniform mid-game. Because honestly, I've never seen him shoot that well in the last 3 years. And he
Yes.
ripped his uniform. So that might be a correlation there. And then after that, it became the Jason Tatum show. The man dropped 51. And the game was pretty much over after the third quarter.
Mm.
So, Joe, talk to me. Where do you put the blame for your 76ers demise? Because nobody really played well in game seven, probably outside of PJ Tucker. So
Yeah. You know, I thought about it, slept on it. Was very upset yesterday. I will say that at the very least. Yeah, I thought PJ Tucker had at least an okay game. I thought Tobias Harris, especially in that first half, played decent as well. Tyrese Maxey was okay. Um, but the blame's got to be on the MVP Joel Embiid, and the blame's got to be on James Harden, and also you got to put it on Doc Rivers as well here. Um,
mhm.
Plain and simple. When the game started, and the Celtics went on an 8-2 run to start the game, then they come back and Sixers went on an 8-0 run to get up 10-8 at that point. But Joel Embiid, to me, just seemed like he did not even want to be on the floor. He was just very lackadaisical. His offensive side just didn't look to right at all. Missing mid-range jumpers, missing free throw jumpers, missing easy layups. The only thing that he was giving you was the defensive side of the ball with the blocks, which is fine,
Mhm.
and we need that as him as the defensive anchor. But he just looked horrific on the offensive side of the ball. Then let's not, but we are going to. James Harden was horrific, absolutely terrible yesterday. At the point I was sitting there and I was like, okay, Doc Rivers needs to make a move and just sit him down for a little while and have Tyrese Maxey run it, put Melton in, put, you know, I don't know, who was it? Shake Milton in. Like, I was at the point where I'm like, you just have to put somebody else in other than James Harden because he is a full-fledged liability out there. There was comparisons that I looked at the game 7 when Ben Simmons passed up that ball and James Harden yesterday, and Ben Simmons had a better stat line than James Harden did yesterday. It was so bad. I remember in the third quarter, halfway through the third quarter, Jason Tatum hit a dagger of a three to put him up. I think up 22 was at this point. And I had my TV and I'm sitting outside, stress smoking a cigar, right? Not even enjoying the cigar, stress smoking the cigar. And Jason Tatum hit this three. I go, take my last puff. I threw it in the ashtray. I got up. I got my TV. I unplugged the cord and I just grabbed the TV and walked it back down the steps. That is legit what I did. And I did not watch another single minute of that game. That was an embarrassment, to be a Philadelphia 76ers fan. Out of all the years that I have watched, right? And I said this was probably the biggest game that I have watched as a Philadelphia 76ers fan that I can remember, I guess, because, of course, the 0-1, the championship run with AI, I don't really remember a lot of that, unfortunately, but this was it for us, right? As a 30-year-old and under being a Philadelphia 76ers fan, you're going in, and this is kind of it for you, right? If you beat Boston, you're in the Eastern Conference Finals. You have finally made that jump for the process, right? That was the most embarrassing game I have ever watched as a Philadelphia 76ers fan, and I would rather want the triple doink of Kawhi Leonard in Toronto to gut-wrench me again than watch what the Philadelphia Sixers threw out yesterday. That was an abysmal effort, and every single person in that building and that team should be embarrassed on how they came out last night.
Yeah, and I feel like it wasn't even that. I mean, the Celtics played well in that third quarter, right? But it felt like as soon as the Celtics got it to double digits, the towel had already been thrown in. You could see it on James and Joel's facial expressions. There was no body language that suggested that they wanted to be there midway through the third quarter. They had already given up, like you said. And it's not like nobody played well for them. Like how we mentioned earlier, PJ Tucker was the best player on the floor. Tobias Harris had a decent stat line, but the man could not stop a cold last yesterday to play defense. But like Jason Tatum was playing out of his mind. You can't really fault him for that, right? But I agree. James Harden, you might as well shave your beard. Because honestly, you might need to, because if someone sees your beard while you walk out in the city of Philadelphia, you're going to hear it. He might have to go into a new identity. Like, that's how abysmal he was. And we can applaud him for 2 great games that he played. But you could easily argue he played awful 4 out of the other 5. Like, awful. Not like mediocre, like garbage time bad. Like, that's how bad James Harden was. Joel Embiid didn't really have any answers, and he didn't even try to really be an enforcer down low. Like you said, in all of his opportunities, he was mostly at the free throw line extended, looking for a mid-range, or he was trying to go out, take Al Horford one-on-one at the top of the three-point line. So that's also offensively. And you're right, to add on to Doc Rivers' point, I think this game last night cost Doc Rivers' job. I really do. You hate to think like that, but the team showed nothing in game 7. Nothing. You couldn't take a single thing out of that game that warrants him retaining his job. And especially with all of these coaching firings of top tier coaches for teams at the top of the Western and Eastern Conference, you can't argue that him staying weighs the firings of the other ones that have been let go so far, like Nurse, Budenholzer, and now Monty Williams as well. You never want to wish that upon someone, but it speaks volumes. Like, you guys had your opportunity in game 6, and you kind of dropped the bag in that game too, right? It wasn't, and then in game 7, you don't even really show up after halftime. That's that's alarming. And I think you nailed it right on the head. Tyrese Maxey should have been the focal point to start the second half. At that point, you're still in the game, and you figured out that Joel Embiid and James Harden do not have it. Maxey was playing still pretty solid ball at that point. And then after that, they kind of still went reliant on their two top tier players. So they sank and swam, sink or swim based off of what you got. And they abysmally sank.
Yeah. It was just terrible to watch. As a 76ers fan, I was just shocked. Like, I remember just sitting there after the first half, and I'm like, okay, like we're down 3, we got a still shot, right? Then Tatum comes out and he's doing Tatum, and you knew that was gonna happen, right? Like, you knew big time players make big time plays, and I'm a big believer in that. And Jason Tatum is a big time player, and you knew he was going to get his points today. You knew he was going to probably get at least 30, even though like he had games where he didn't. Like, he's going to get 30, right? Like, I already knew that was coming into play, right? But Denver Nuggets had Jokic drop 50, and the Suns still beat him pretty handily, I think, that game. So I'm like, all right, like, just, okay, settle. Just let Tatum get his, and it's going to happen, right? But, like, everybody else, like, they kept running like the same play too. It was like a high pick and roll, and Maxey or Harden would go over the screen, but Tatum was so far ahead of them already. They pick a pop 3, bang, at that point. And then if not, he drove the lane and easy layup. And I'm like, okay, Doc, like, can we play a 2-3 zone at this point? Like, just to try to avoid something, do something different, like, get something going. And it just seemed like he was just like stuck on like, all right, we're just going to play man. And it's like, okay, like, I can live with Al Horford making a 3. I can live with Marcus Smart making a couple threes. I can live with White making a couple threes. I'm like, but like, you just can't keep having Tatum handle the ball and just keep draining threes and draining twos. And I'm like, dude, change it up. But
no, I agree. They did not blitz Tatum until midway through the third quarter, and the game was already decided at that point. Why are you playing drop coverage? Because you guys let him find his shot at the end of game 6. You let him find it because he had been abysmal shooting the basketball those previous 3 games, right? Then he finds it at the end of game 6, and yet you're still playing drop coverage because you're only down 3, but you already know at that point he's got 20. I think he had 20 plus at the half some already. What are you doing at that point?
30, I think.
Why aren't you already making that adjustment to say, all right, we're still in this game. We are going to make sure Jason Tatum's not the reason we lose.
Yep. I agree. I don't know what happened yesterday. But we're talking about Tatum, right? Like, Tatum had a great game, fine. But the Sixers only had, I believe, 10 points in the third quarter.
Only scored 10 points in the third. That's right.
Like, fine, Tatum getting his, and right, they scored 30, right? Like, I mean, NBA now, like, getting 25 to 30 a quarter is pretty standard, right? I think they got 30, 35, right? Or something like that. But 10 points, being held to 10 points on the offensive side is horrific to me. You went a stretch, I think it's 6-minute stretch of not scoring a single point. Like, what? That's not NBA. I mean, that's not basketball. Like, what is going on? Something has to happen. I don't even know. I don't really know what to say. Like, I'm just so shocked at the performance that I got yesterday. And, I kind of slept on it. I woke up today, and I'm at the point now where I'm like, was the moment just too big for Joel Embiid and James Harden? That's where I'm kind of at now. Was it too big for him? Like, I don't know. Usually Joel Embiid, especially, like, now watching the playoffs with him for the amount of years, right? We could kind of always make some excuse as a 76ers fan, or at least tell ourselves some excuse each and every year why we lost in the second round, right? Last year you had the Joel Embiid injury, comes back, you lose to the Heat, first year of Harden, didn't really have a full season. Fine. Sure. Right? That was the excuse we made. Year before that, so we had Ben Simmons, and that was the last year, and that's when Ben, the shooting was really in his head. We were like, we're going to get rid of Ben Simmons. once we get rid of Ben Simmons, we'll be in a better state, right? So that's 2020, 2021. 2019, 2020, I think that was the COVID year, right? The bubble year that would have been.
Yeah, 2019, 2020, correct.
So got swept. I think Joel got hurt at the end of that year. So fine, you move along. Another excuse here. Then 2018, 2019 is the Kawhi triple doink with Butler. Oh, we could have won if he did the travel. You make all them excuses. You just keep going with the excuses. I don't have an excuse for last night's performance. That was horrific. You had a chance not only in Game 7, but you had a chance with 4 minutes left in Game 6, up 2 points at home to win that game. And you blew it. Yep. You blew it. Didn't even give the ball to Joel Embiid from, I think, the 5-minute mark on. He did not touch the ball.
No, he didn't.
Like, you had chances. As a Philadelphia 76ers, you had chances to beat the Boston Celtics. You did. There's no excuse now. That's it. You had your chances. Now I'm hearing on the radio today, right? I'm in the car. Oh, we're going to trade Joel Embiid. Oh, we're going to get rid of James Harden. Oh, we're going to do this. Oh, we're going to do that. Come on now, guys. Now I think we're overreacting, but Jesus Christ.
What would you do? What would you do?
Truthfully?
Yeah, where do you go from here?
I've said this from the start, and Doc actually had a pretty decent season, but I think you got to fire him. You fire Doc Rivers is the first step there, right? James Harden has a player option. If he comes back, great. If he doesn't, it's $40 million off the books. I'm okay with it, right?
Right.
Then you make Tyrese Maxey your focal point at point guard, and you go out to the market and see what's out there in the shooting guard position, small forward. If you can trade Tobias Harris, because now, as much as we all hate it and everybody knows it, Tobias Harris had probably one of the worst contracts that the 76ers gave him 4 or 5 years ago, but he is on his last year now at 40 mil, which I know sounds like a lot, but at least somebody might be more willing to take that chance knowing that the contract's going to be expired the following year, right? If you can trade him, great. If not, I mean, he's still a serviceable small forward, power forward in the league at this point. But, like, you're not going to trade Joel Embiid. You're still not going to trade him. He's the MVP, right? In the end, he's the MVP. Yes, he had a terrible game yesterday, but what about all the other games, right? That got you to this point. You're not going to trade Joel. I really don't even know what to do, moving forward, right? Like, you still got PJ Tucker, who's, okay. Like, he helps you out in the playoffs. He gives you some hustle plays, but he's not really giving you much other than that. I mean, shit, like you said, PJ Tucker had 11 points in the first quarter. That's the most I think I've ever heard of him almost in a game. Let's be honest with you this year. I don't know moving forward what to do. I really have no idea. So
got you perplexed. It's a sad day for you. Okay, you'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it right after it was a game 5. Yeah, after game 5, we go up 3-2. And if you told me at the beginning of the series, hey, the Sixers are gonna go 7 games, but they're gonna lose, I probably would have felt okay. I would have been like, you know what? We got the 7 versus Boston. Didn't really expect to. Not bad. I would have been okay.
Yeah.
I'm not okay just because the way they played yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'd rather have the triple doink of Kawhi knowing that we lost on a game winner, but we put our heart and soul into this game, and we lost by 2 points, 3 points, 1 point. But no, the way we lost is what just killed me the most. Just didn't even want to be there.
That's fair.
So, all right, let's get over to your Golden State Warriors.
Shit, damn it.
Here, right?
No.
So Golden State Warriors go down. Tough loss, game 6. What they lose by 20, 25 that game, I think.
Lost 122 to 101.
122
was not competitive.
Klay Thompson shot like shit. Steph Curry I don't even know where he was. It was not a good game for them. Talk me through it, Blaine. I know you're depressed at me, but at least you got a couple of rings to hold your head upon. But you know.
Okay. So here's my thoughts, right? I watched I did the same thing as you. I turned it off after 3 quarters. Um I mean, my issue was I thought game 6 was going to be the harder game to win out of the any of the road games we would have had to play. Because the Lakers were going to have that type of energy, knowing, especially after we kind of blitzed them in game 5 a little bit. Like we were going to make sure we weren't going to lose at home. And I think the Lakers played with the urgency that showcased why they are a completely different team this last 2 months, right? Post trade deadline. Team showcased their defense. I mean, Curry's stat line does not indicate how he played, right? 11 of 28 for 32 points. That was a lot of garbage time points at that point. We were down 11 at the break. We let Austin Reeves just cook us. We really did. Austin Reeves, the next version of White Man Can't Jump. I don't know why Jack Harlow's playing in the movie. It should be Austin Reeves at this point, based off of how this man plays. But the man absolutely fried us in game 6. And you can only go to blame. For me, you got to blame Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole. Klay Thompson showed up in 2 games, but in the other 4, the man was absolutely atrocious. Like game 1 and game 2, he played well. But Jordan Poole, buddy, don't be surprised if you're not on this squad next year. I'm telling you that right
with that
now.
contract. That's
You
a high
can't.
number.
That's it. We overpaid him. And remember when I made that meme the last time we were on the show? Can't have the Splash Bros without a pool party. I am regretting those words so hard. So much. The man was absolutely atrocious in this postseason.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the man is a definition of a volume shooter, but what we gave up to pay him that money, like we let Gary Payton walk, we let Otto Porter walk, 2, 3, and D guys at wings that we really, I mean, Gary Payton came back, right? But those are 2 guys that were focal points a year ago that we could have really used more this year. And Gary, when we traded for him back, he was hurt, so he didn't play much coming back. But all in all, the game was indicated based off of 2 areas, right? Were we going to keep them off the free throw line, and were we going to make our jump shots? Every game that the Lakers won, they were plus 10 minimum at the free throw line. That was the difference of the game. The team, I think, shot 40 free throws in
42, and you guys
in
shot
game
14.
6.
Yeah.
I mean, game 6, the man, they just lived at the free throw line. And I do have something to say, though. JaMychal motherfucking Green, what in God's name are you freaking going to your social media and poking LeBron James before game 6? Talking trash, making a stupid video or comment. I can't remember what it was. Saying, oh, we got this in the back. He made something stupid towards LeBron. And I'm like, what are you doing? You don't even play. You only played in 3 of these games because Kevon Looney wasn't 100% because he got freaking sick. Like, the man doesn't even touch the floor if Kevon Looney doesn't get sick.
Yeah.
And you poke the bear that is LeBron James, and you knew the man was going to be on a mission. And just a light 30, 10 of 14 from the field, 8 of 11 from the free throw line. The man just cooked us. And he had that look in his eye that reminisces of old, that he's like, hey, if I only have to do this once or twice a series, y'all are in trouble.
Oh yeah.
And he only had to do it once.
Oh yeah.
We lost a game where he didn't take a shot till midway through the second quarter.
Yep.
Think about that.
Yep.
LeBron James didn't shoot the ball once midway through the second quarter. I think it was game 4 where we lost at the end because we were just awful down the stretch in the final 2 minutes, could not run a play correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But
Do you
LeBron
also?
had 39-9 on us and
Yeah.
just we let the man cook. But the Lakers shot 52% from the field. The team was clicking on all cylinders. They ran us out of that building.
Do you think the illness of Kayvon Looney and the lack of size that you guys had any effect in that loss to the Lakers?
I mean, he did play 26 minutes in game 6, so that's pretty close to his average, maybe a couple minutes less. So I won't take game 6 accountable. I think it did hurt us early in the series. And I think he missed game 3 and he played limited in game 4, or he played limited in game 3 and 4 and 5, basically.
I'm just looking right here, right? Like
The man definitely when he was on the court, he did not look 100%. I
yeah,
will be adamant about that.
like he looked really good in the King series, right? And was
Oh,
taking
he was fantastic.
and taking advantage, of his size, athleticism, toughness, right? But then he's coming up against the Lakers, who Anthony Davis is no small guy, right? I think he's 6'11", maybe even 7 foot. He's damn near close to that. And if you even just look at the game 6 stat line, he had 20 rebounds. Like 20 rebounds is impressive, right?
No, Anthony Davis
I,
took us to church in this series.
yeah, like, and 20 rebounds, 17 points. He only shot 5 and 9 and had 7 went to the free throw line 5 times.
Yeah.
I think that was a kind of a big difference maker in that game, right? Like the Warriors have always had at least serviceable center to an extent on their runs, right? Or a rebounding center to an extent on their runs. A guy that could play a little bit of defense as well. Not the scoring type of guy, because of course you're going to get that from the Splash Brothers and unlike Poole. And Draymond Green is still going to facilitate, give you that PJ Tucker role,
Yeah.
as the 76ers were known of. But I think in this matchup here, I think Davis was just too much size for them. I think Russell played a very good, quiet game, good, quiet series, pretty much overall, just dissing rock. And like you said, Reeves was just played out of his mind as well. So I think that was the other kicker. And if you also look at it like this series too, Steph Curry didn't really play well. Yes, on
No,
paper,
he didn't.
wise, points wise, it was there, like 25 almost every game.
Efficiency wise, he was not there.
Exactly. I think he shot 35, 36% from 3, which is nowhere near what he, usually does. And I want to say maybe 40, 41% from the field in general. That's not Steph Curry right there.
Yeah.
But like I think you said earlier, right?
We got see, that's where I disagree about the size thing, is that we got up 100 shots in game 6. 100. We took 28 more shots than they did. We just could not make a basket. I think we were 25% from 3. Like, we knew this series was going to be based off of our 3-point shooting, and everyone from the 3-point line was below their average significantly, probably outside of Curry. Curry was slightly below his average, but everyone else was atrocious.
Yeah. I mean, terrible game, terrible performance. Didn't really even come out, kind of like the Sixers. Didn't even really come out, lost by 21 at this point. Yeah, tough game.
Opposite for you, though. I don't think we will blow up our team as much.
I don't think you can. You got too much money all over the place.
I agree with that. But I think we pay Draymond Green. I think we do.
So I'm going to ask you this. If you, not as a fan, I guess, but
ask me from a work perspective.
Yeah, right. If you had to be in a certain position to, moving forward for future wise with the team, would you rather be the Golden State Warriors or would you rather be the Philadelphia 76ers?
The Sixers, because once our big three walk, we're gonna be done for a while.
Of course, but how long do you think that's going to be?
Oh, we'll be.
When does this run end? Essentially, I think it's going to come down to it.
Oh, I think we've got 2 more years.
You got 2 more years, but do you think the Sixers
But that doesn't
ever
mean we're
get?
going to be elite. I think next year's our pretty much our last chance to be truly competitive for a title. I think the year after that, it's more of an outside shot.
Okay. Makes sense.
What
Makes
was your
sense.
question going to be?
Yeah, I guess it's going to come down to, like you said, like you're going to be elite, right? You still got a shot for a title. Truthfully, I don't know if the Sixers have a shot for a title.
That's fair.
Like, Boston's only getting better. They're not getting worse. Jason Tatum is probably going to be damn near the MVP next year.
Do you
Jaylen Brown.
think? Yeah. Do they keep Jaylen Brown? There's all these rumors swirling around that they're going to let Jaylen
If they
trade
get rid of
Jaylen.
Jaylen Brown, they would be the stupidest organization I've ever seen in my
It's
life. Because
fair.
I'll tell you
There's a
this,
lot of rumors about that, though.
if it wasn't for Jaylen Brown, Celtics maybe could have gotten swept in that game. Because Jaylen Brown was the only one who played both sides of the ball. He was going up against Harden, and he was scoring the rock. If
Right.
it wasn't for him, it doesn't happen. But Boston's only getting better. The Bucks are still going to be there, right? Giannis is still Giannis, right? I know he gets older, right? But he's still Giannis. Miami, unfortunately, is still going to be there as well. I don't care what they say. I know they just slipped in, but Butler's still playing out of his mind. Bam's still there. Tyler Hero's going to be back.
Right.
I think they lose Kyle Lowry maybe off the books. I could be wrong, but like they're going to go find somebody else. I don't know where the Sixers fit in. Like this is the problem, right? Like when are you going to get over the hump? And we thought this year was going to be, that's it. We're going to get over the hump. We're going to have the Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals. Oh, wow. We should be great. Here we are, twiddling our thumbs, watching the Boston
No,
Celtics
you
play the Miami.
gotta. The process has officially died.
You would have thought.
If y'all say trust the process one more time, there might be something gets burnt. Wells Fargo might get burnt down.
The process was going to end yesterday.
Yeah,
I don't know what we are now. I really have no idea. I don't have an idea because we are just stuck right now.
it's true.
You're stuck as third or fourth best team, and next year they're going to do the same thing, right? They're going to get our hopes up. We're going to think we got a shot. Guess what?
Fair.
We're going to lose in the second round again. So, yeah. All right. Let's get some predictions. Right?
Do we want to preview some conference finals?
Of course. That's what I just want to say. Let's get to some predictions, right? Let's get to Boston Celtics, Miami Heat game. I think it's Wednesday. I think it starts this.
Yeah, game 1 Wednesday.
Game 1 Wednesday in Boston. Who you got and how many games?
This is so hard. I think both of these series are coin flips. I really do. But I'm gonna roll with the team that has been the best team this postseason, and that's the Miami Heat, and they're gonna win in 6.
Wow.
I'm going out on an island. I'm gonna take playoff inner Michael Jordan, Jimmy Butler. Give me Jimmy gets in 6. They have to win it on home court. I don't think they win it if it goes to a game 7.
Okay. I like it.
But
hey, bold.
I'm gonna live on the edge at this point. Miami has proved.
I'm rooting for Miami, so I'll tell you that.
Well, so this is my argument, right? If we look at it this way, everyone in the right mind would probably say the Miami Heat were the 4th best team that made it into the playoffs out of the Eastern Conference. They may have gotten in as an 8 seed, but I would never have looked at them as an 8 seed. I saw them as a 4 or a 5.
Yeah,
arguably.
I would say that. Yeah, I agree.
Because Brooklyn don't count. Brooklyn doesn't count to me. The Knicks, we kind of talked about this. Effort wins you games to get into the regular season. So those 2 New York teams are out. So that puts you at the 5. So you flip of a coin there with At that point, you flip a coin with what is it? Cleveland, the Cavs.
And
Cavs are young. Cavs are a young
I
team.
just didn't think they had the experience yet.
Right. So there you put them at 4. So arguably they're a 4 seed. That's the way I look at it, mathematically speaking.
Yeah.
And then you look at a team. The one thing is that the Miami Heat are the worst matchup for all of those top 3 teams that were in the Eastern Conference. Milwaukee, Boston, and Philadelphia. They're the only team that can have all 5 players can guard all 5 positions. Only team. And they predicate themselves on defense. And how ironic is this that Eric Spoelstra does not have a coach of the year? That blew my mind. I found that stat out the other day. That was mind blowing. I was like, this man is arguably a top 3 to top 5 coach in basketball. And the man's never won coach of the year.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
So give me Miami.
Okay. I like it. I'm gonna be rooting for Miami. I don't think Miami wins it. I think it's Boston Celtics in 6.
Okay.
I think it's Celtics in 6. I think
I don't know, man. When those teams get down to South Beach, the extracurricular activities sometimes play a role.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I truthfully think the X factor is going to be Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown's going to have a hell of a series. Butler's going to be on Tatum, and that's fine.
The whole game. Yep.
Like, Brown gets his, and Brown makes his, and that's just what it's going to be.
That's my fear from Miami. Who's going to be their second option outside of Butler?
Yeah, don't get me wrong, they're going to hit their threes, Miami. And Boston was lights out in this series from 3 too. I thought it just felt like they just hit every time down the floor, right? And Marcus Smart's going to bother the shit out of Jimmy. So, yeah, I like Boston 6. I like Boston 6. So,
all right, let's look at the West. Nuggets, Lakers. Where are you going here?
I ain't going against the King, yo. I'm going with him. I want to ride with him. We're gonna ride into the sunset with them. Give me the Lakers in 7. Give me the Lakers in 7.
Okay. Fair.
It's gonna be a matchup, right? Like, it's gonna be good games. Murray's still gonna get his. Jokic is still, but Jokic is gonna have a good game. But at least Jokic has the Lakers have a defender that can at least stand Jokic, right? In AD. I don't think AD is like a great defender, but at least he has size.
Yeah.
And is able to, and is athletic enough to keep up with Jokic. Where, like, when he played against the Suns, like, oh my God, Ayton's only really like a down low kind of guy, and Kevin Durant isn't going to cover him. So,
and he'll make Jokic play defense. AD.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So that's why I like.
I'm sticking on my my island a week ago. Give me the Denver Nuggets in 7.
Good for you. Good for you.
I'm riding the train, baby. I'm riding the train. I'm gonna go down with it. Give me the team that is arguably the most complete team in basketball right now.
I respect it.
Denver Nuggets.
Great pick.
They looked great in that Phoenix series. Great. And if Devin Booker doesn't go superhuman, that series could have been a sweep.
Yeah.
Like, that's how great Devin Booker had to be. That was just to get them 2 games, and he had to basically not miss a shot.
Yep. I agree. I just thought about this. I have Boston and Lakers, literally one of the greatest rivalries in NBA.
That's a great rivalry.
And, how many straight how many straight NBA championships did they have in a row back in mid 2000s, was it, or late 2000s? With Paul Pierce, KG, Ray Allen, and then on the other side, Kobe and Powell. Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe.
When they battled each other out 2 years in a row when they both split. Could be fascinating.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So, all right, big guy. Well, it's your turn as always. Let's switch some gears here. Let's get over some PGA Championship. It's here already. I just one of my buddies texted me yesterday. It was like, "Hey, did you see PGA's next week?" I was like, "Wait, really?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Holy crap, it's already here." I like this. They pushed it up. I think it was last year, right? They pushed it up to May. which I like
Yeah,
because
a year or two ago now. This is maybe year two or year three of it.
yeah, I like this because you get the Masters in April, you get the PGA Championship in May, you get the
Open in June.
Open
U.S.
and
Open.
yep, US Open in June, and then the Open in July. I like that because back to back months. That's what I want to see. Um, so yeah, so this week we are up in New York, actually at Oak
You
Hill
going? You
Club.
making the trip up to Rochester?
Nah, that's a little far up there, man. Yeah, Oak Hill Country Clubs begins Thursday. PGA Championship will be underway. I heard it is going to be a daunting course. Um,
It's playing
so
real long. It's playing
very long,
very
very
long
long.
because of the rain that they got.
Um, I just was I'm gonna give a little shout out to this guy Ron Kloss on Twitter, PGA Splits 101. It's got a little breakdown of the course and what to expect. Oak Hill Country Club, par 70, playing 7,394 yards. Got some length to it. There is no gimme holes essentially. And you would think a lot of these guys would be scoring on the par fives. No, not at all. Both par fives are 615 yards plus this week. And you have 7 par fours at 460 yards plus. So it's going to be tough. Even if you hit bombs, it's not going to
It's
be.
going to be a brute.
Yes, it's going to be difficult. Going to be small landing zones, tight greens. You're talking about bent grass, fescue sitting at 3 to 4 inches, rough sitting there. Like, it's going to be tough for these guys. Like, this is almost US Open territory.
Oh no, the score is going to be low.
Yeah, I've seen projections, 4 to 5. I've seen projections all the way up to 11 or 12. I mean,
I was thinking 6 or 7, right in the middle there.
yeah, I think 4 to 7 is going to be the range it's going to sit at. And you're going to have guys that are a little more precise with the driver and are able to get up and down from bunkers and, roughs on the side. And, that's what I think is going to have to win this. It's going to be almost like a US Open, man. It's going to be daunting, to say the
No,
least.
it'll be brutal. All right.
But
So we're going to switch it up because, this, if you got, because we didn't record, we were on our hiatus. Joe got it right with who he picked for the Masters, but he picked 3 guys and I only picked 1. So this time I do have 3, but we're gonna switch it up with who you as your favorites. I want 2 tour guys and 1 live guy out of your 3. I think this because kind of balance the field here, right? Most of them are PGA Tour guys. You have the occasional live guy in the field. So give me 2 tour guys and 1 live guy as who you like this week. Who you putting money on?
all right, money first one off the bat. And I'm going strictly on driving accuracy this year. He's sitting at, I think, top 3. One of the best wedge players out there, iron players, excuse me, out there. I believe he already has 1 under his belt, or I could be wrong. It could be a U.S. Open, so I could be wrong. Quote me. I'm going to go Colin Morikawa this week. I think Morikawa's going to have a
2-time major champ,
yep.
Morikawa, PGA and an Open.
Is the PGA okay? Yeah, I think he's gonna have a good week. I think has a really good chance of winning. And like I said, I know it's long, and he's not the longest hitter, right? But he is a very accurate hitter, and I think that's what's gonna be precise. And you got to find fairways, and that's why I like Morikawa this week.
Okay, all right. For mine, I think you got to go with someone who's a pure ball striker. I think he's arguably one of the more hotter players on tour. I think he would be a first-time major winner. This may be deemed a homer pick because I'm now in Utah, but I think Tony Finau has a real shot this week. It's just for Tony, it's gonna be the putter. The ball striking and driving accuracy is always there. And since he's won 4 times now since July, and he kind of has been dueling it out with John Rahm, especially in Mexico. I think it was a couple weeks ago, and he got the win there. So he's not like he's beating lower fields. He's beaten some of the better guys in the world. I like Tony Finau to sneak in there with a maybe not win, but I like him for a top 15.
Okay.
But
I
I
don't hate
like
it.
him as a sleeper pick for
Had a
sure.
solid week 2 weeks ago. I think he won that. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
hate the pick.
One in Mexico a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
Yep.
beat out John Rahm in that final round. Okay, who else you got?
All right. So my next pick here, it's gonna be the guy that got a lot of hate a couple weeks ago for some slow play action. But I think
Ooh,
but I think he might have a chance to slide up that leaderboard. I don't know if he wins this, right? If I, had the pick, I picked my guy that I think is gonna win it, but I think who's gonna be sneaky top 10. It's gonna be Patrick Cantlay here. The California guy
really?
here. Yeah, I'm gonna go Patrick Cantlay. I think the putter's a little dialed. I think the driver is there. I think the yardage is there. I like Cantley's game, man. He's playing good solid ball right now. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with. Little Patrick Cantlay.
Okay, not a bad pick. This Joey LaCava on the bag this week.
Mm-hmm.
Some Tiger
Mm-hmm.
insight, maybe.
Yep. Yep.
My a
Yep.
little plug there.
Yep.
All right, my next pick. You know, I'm gonna go with the guy who is Mr. Consistent in the majors, and that's Xander Schauffele. Not one of the longer hitters, but the man is a pure ball striker, and the man shows up in every major. 16 out of his 23 major starts, he's been in the top 25. Don't get me wrong here. I really do like. I think Schauffele will have a good week. Give me Xander Schauffele as my other pick.
I don't like him other than the Masters. Like he only really does really, really well in the Masters. Like after that,
Okay,
like what? Because I like Shoffley. I really do. Like I'm a big fan of him. But like it's like every year, like he's like, oh, he's there in the Masters. But then like after that, you don't really hear much about him. And I'm like, so I don't hate it. Like he's a good player, right? And he might prove me wrong
you
this
might
week.
as well lock. You can lock him in for a top 25 though.
All right, lock him in for top 25. I like it. All right, let me get my live guy here.
Yeah, who are you going for the live guy?
I'm on the course. He's native of the Espanol, right? He's got a little dog in him, got a funky swing, and I love it. Give me Joaquin Neiman this week. Dude is got some
Really?
firepower to him, right? Little feisty, has up and downs rounds, right? You're gonna have holes where he might go double bogey, but he might have holes where he gets an eagle birdie back to back, and he lights it up.
Wow.
Give me the Joaquin Neiman. Huh? Love it.
That's an interesting pick because he's been hit or miss so far in this live year. He's been okay. You can lock him in for a top 15, but hasn't really put himself in contention yet this year. So that's an interesting one.
Yep. Yep.
Not bad though. Not bad.
The odds on these live guys aren't really great.
No, they're not.
Like I took a look before we did the podcast, and like
No,
I
they are
mean
rough. I'm looking at this stuff like
one, two,
there's a lot of them that are bets that like, yo, are they gonna make the cut?
three, four. There's four of them below 60 to 1 odds.
Wow.
Everybody else is higher. So like, I mean, you're talking about like there's it's not really there. They're not the Vegas doesn't like them this week.
No, I
So
don't think so.
so so who you going with? Who is the live
You
guy
know,
here?
uh, I'm gonna go with something that I'm gonna go the opposite here. The man is not a long ball hitter here.
Okay.
The man is probably towards the bottom at driving distance,
Okay.
but the man's short game is pretty flawless, and he's really great with his long irons and his hybrids. And I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna stick with your nice little Central America, South America look, and give me Abraham Answer.
Tequila
Abraham Answer
man.
from Mexico, the little man, um, 2 straight top tens at the PGA. So he's been there in contention. Another decent ball striker. It's just going to be a question mark. Is the driving distance going to be enough for him? But I do like
Sure.
Abraham Answer as my live guy this week.
Sure.
I felt like if I went with like Dustin or Brooks, that was a cop out because like they're both playing so well. So like I wanted to go somewhere else.
It would have been. I need to find out the odds, and I'm gonna have to look this up. I want to know Podrick Harrington's first round score, what that over under is, because I'm gonna hammer the under. That man on the first round plays incredible golf in majors. I don't know
Yo,
what it.
John Daly withdrew today, and that would be the other one. John Daly in a first round in a major is great. He can't hold up for 3 days, but
He's in a golf cart. He's definitely in a golf cart, right?
I think he does get the golf cart.
Yeah. But Podrick would have been interesting. I would have loved to see Podrick's over under first round. And if it's sitting like anywhere like 78, 79, I'm taking the under. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe 77. You got to give him some credit, right?
Yeah. I'm
So
assuming he's probably around 76 and a half, I would say, around there.
I'll hammer the under. 74 round for him. I could see it. Right?
Yeah, I could see it. Totally could see it. The man's distance isn't gone, so he can still pipe a
Anybody's
drive.
anybody's reputation on the line here, you think, or no? Like a must win a little bit?
A must win. Wow. I wouldn't say it's a must win, but I feel like I'm trying to scroll up right now. Look at some of these guys. I don't think winning makes an impact, but I feel like um one of the guys that I kind of have my eye on is Billy Horschel. I think Billy Horschel, the fire, the man cannot really perform though on a major stage. I think he's got only a couple more chances left. And this is one of the few golf courses that, again, ball striking is going to be a premium. He's a very good ball striker. If he doesn't perform well this week, there's going to be a lot of question marks with his game, I feel like, moving forward.
Okay.
What about you? You got somebody?
Um, Truthfully, I got like two or three. And I think like it's like, all right, you got maybe not just this major, but you gotta like kind of win. Truthfully, like a big tournament. Obviously, first one comes to mind. Everyone's gonna say this because we haven't seen him really win a major in a long time. Rory McIlroy, plain and simple. Haven't seen the man won really
The
anything.
man is in awful form though, Joe. I would not put my money. I
No,
would be avoiding the money with him this week.
I'm not saying put money on him. I'm just saying like a legacy, a reputation, right? Like we
Okay.
think Rory is the mecca of guys, but like, let's be honest. I mean, we had this. I don't know if we had the discussion. Or I had a discussion elsewhere. I think Brooks Koepka, truthfully, on a legacy perspective, is better than Rory McIlroy. I don't know if I had this discussion with you.
No.
Okay.
Expand on it out for me.
For me, I come back to this, and I said this earlier: big time players make big time plays, and it applies to golf as well. Brooks Koepka has won. I could be wrong, but the same amount of majors, if not maybe one less major than Rory McIlroy has. You might have to fact check me on that, but the run that Brooks Koepka has, and as well, still is producing in majors where Rory has literally gone non-existent in majors, tells me a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why I said I think Brooks, for me, has like surpassed Rory. And Rory's just been like, he's been there. Look, don't get me wrong. Rory has one of the nicest swings in golf and has one of the most beautiful ball flights in golf. But like, he has not put enough together to win a major in the last couple years. Like, reputation's kind of been on the line. Like, yes, like I know we said like he needs to finish the Grand Slam and win the Masters.
Sure.
Like, he's not winning anything else. Like, something has to be done. Like, I think, like I said, like I don't think it's this major particularly is like a must win for him, but like this year he needs to win. Truthfully,
Well, where the other one's at the LA Country Club, where's the Open at this year? Do you know off the top of your head?
Royal.
Is that Liverpool?
I don't know. I'm not too sure.
I
Don't quote
don't
me on
know.
that. I think it's in England though. I think,
I
but I'm
don't
not
know.
sure. But
I
like, I think for me, it's just like he needs to win. Like he needs to win this year. because like you're at the point now where I'm like, buddy, you really haven't been relevant in majors in a little while now.
Right. And the only reason he was relevant a year ago was because he just shot lights out in the final round when it was already over.
Yeah. So
When
not
Scotty won.
the yeah, not it for me, man. Unfortunately.
Who's your other one?
The other couple I got, the other two, truthfully, I think Victor Hovland needs to kind of step his game up a little
He
bit.
needs
He's
to have
got
a
to
good
win.
week, you think? Or he's got
Yeah,
to win.
he's got to win one, man. Like he's good. I really do. I
The
like how
man's short game is not good enough.
yeah, but like you just gotta win, man. Like it's been 3-4 years now. I'm like, all right, buddy, you gotta pound through a little bit. You gotta get a major here and there, right? Like you got to. I just don't say, hopefully he
I
wins.
don't see it for him anytime soon.
And last but not least, I hate on him a lot, man. And like he's been kind of coming around the last couple months. But Ricky Fowler's got to do something, man. Oh my God. Like the man
Ricky
literally
Fowler's
his
done,
career.
man, when it comes to he had his chance in that 2014 year where he finished all in the top five and he couldn't get over the hump. The
Yeah.
man really hasn't been relevant in a major championship since.
Yeah. It's been brutal, man. It's been absolutely
And he
brutal.
fell off the face of the earth for a little while too.
Agreed. Agreed. So
Does Spieth play this week, or do you think he WDs?
I think he's going to try to give it a shot. That's why he took off last week. So he's going to fight through it. I mean, he might withdraw halfway through, but he's going to try to fight his way through it.
I don't
So.
think he'll play well this week.
No, I don't think so either. I think if the next chance for him to win is going to be the Open. So this is what it is.
Perfectly fair.
So another good week. Another week we actually did it. You got to give us a little bit of a shout out there. We're doing well, folks. I think we're 3 weeks straight. Blaine might not have a cast on next week.
Yeah, that was you stole my thunder. That was my big thing.
Blaine might not have a cast next week. He might be back, castless, ready to go. Got a bit, dude. I got a big week ahead of me. I'm excited for this. I got golf on Wednesday. We're playing a different course. I play
Ooh, do you?
played at two different courses that the course has. So we're playing the other one. It's gonna be the links style this week. I'm excited to get out there. I shoot my best on this links course. So hoping to play well. Then I got a golf.
What's your over under this week for that round on Wednesday?
Ooh, I'm gonna set it at 40. 40
Okay.
this week.
Okay.
I've been I hit a 39 earlier this month, or excuse me, in April. I've been shooting around 41ish, 42. This past week I had a rough last two holes, went 3 over par, which I wasn't happy about.
Playing solid though, it sounds like.
Yeah, shot 42, really wasn't upset about. I wasn't upset about the score or the number, but I could have shot 39. I know it. But yeah, this week we're playing that. And then on Sunday, I'm playing a brand new course up in Easton, PA. It's called Morgan Hill, very hilly, in a scramble. So I'm excited to play with that. So yeah, big time golf coming up.
You lucky shit.
And then yeah, big time golf. Got some golf outings coming up. So just excited to get out, man. It's a good time of year. So
if you see me next week with this piece of garbage off, I will be on the golf course that week.
Take it easy. Slow and steady. Don't be hitting 7 irons hard into the ground, because
we are the swing is going to be very moderate going forward for a while.
Yeah. It's gonna be, you'll be all right. You'll bounce back. Better than ever. Maybe shooting in the 80s after this. I don't know.
If I can get back into the 80s, I'll be a very happy camper. Broken 90 once, and it was so.
There you go.
I am not that good of a golfer in comparison to you.
So, but yeah, we'll get back into it. Next week we'll be getting some more details about the NBA. Maybe, I know Blaine's probably gonna want to talk a little more about the hockey talk, and that's hockey talk. And
hockey talk.
We'll get into there. We got a little baseball going on. Still the football off season going in full swing. Schedule just got released too. Trying to plan out some couple days that I'm going to be going to some different NFL stadiums. We'll get into maybe a little breakdown of that as well. So we got a lot to talk about next week. So make sure you tune back in. Make sure you subscribe. on YouTube. Make sure you leave us a like. Let us know how we're doing on all our platforms as well. Blaine's been posting some awesome content on the social media, so give us some love there as always. And yeah, stay tuned for next week. So I will chat with you all later and have a great day.